Hello, this is your attorney, Jiwon Lee. In the previous video, we discussed an overview of the Lee Sun-gyun drug case. In this video, we will explore the real reasons behind the death of an actor. A police internal investigation is a police procedure to determine whether there's a suspicion against the subject. Typically, someone reports a crime, or the police investigating another case discover evidence related to a new case. Therefore, internal investigations can proceed without the knowledge of the involved parties, and if there's no significant evidence during this stage, the case may be closed. In the case of Lee Sun-gyun's drug incident, it started with a report from a former room salon hostess about a drug case. It wasn't initially about Lee Sun-gyun or other celebrities, but began with the investigation of another hostess, eventually leading to inquiries about celebrities like Lee Sun-gyun and G-Dragon, found in the problematic hostess's phone. Therefore, the media reports came out, and a few days later, the internal investigation was officially converted into a formal investigation. This led to criticism of the police investigation into Lee Sun-gyun's death because the police had leaked information to the media even before transitioning to a formal investigation. Simply put, it is through information provided by the police. Where could it come from? While it is natural for the police to officially brief journalists on the details of a case, there are other ways journalists uncover this information. Journalists adopt various methods when covering the police, especially in cities like Seoul, where significant incidents frequently occur, leading reporters to be present at major police stations. Even for me, when visiting with a client at a police station, reporters sometimes ask questions. In cases involving celebrities, journalists often wait for investigation schedules in advance. Media outlets sometimes assign rookie journalists to cover cases or have them wait until the targeted individuals appear. It's not uncommon for rookie journalists to wait near the entrance of police stations, equipped with laptops or pens. In any case, journalists who are stationed may meet with the individuals involved in a case to gather information. The most decisive route for the media to cover investigative cases is to receive information directly from the police. Journalists from media outlets often have a certain level of familiarity with the police, and the police, for the sake of the public's right to know, occasionally provide briefings on major cases. This creates a close working relationship between the press and the police. Consequently, to gain attention, the police sometimes leak information to journalists first, and conversely, journalists may persistently investigate the police to obtain information about a case. In the case of Lee Sun-gyun, the investigation details were reported in real time as the investigation progressed. The hostess who allegedly provided drugs to Lee Sun-gyun claimed in police interrogation, including the third investigation, that Lee Sun-gyun used drugs on 5 occasions, including October 27th of last year, and this information was reported by the media. Even during the third investigation, there were reports stating that he used drugs by inhaling through a straw. Ultimately, the situation where the real name was mentioned from the internal investigation stage through the police media play had a significant impact and stress on the deceased. In fact, Lee Sun-gyun claimed to have been extorted by a hostess and had reported it as a coercion case involving an amount of exceeding 300 million Korean won. Strictly speaking, he was also a victim. However, the allegations of drug use and solicitation received more attention. Despite the presumption of innocence until proven guilty, the media distributed provocative articles by reporting information leaked by the police. Therefore, the police also bear some responsibility for Lee Sun-gyun's death. In conclusion, because the police need to demonstrate their achievements, the police, like any other organizations, operate in a pyramid-shaped hierarchical structure with numerous officers, around 130,000 police, within the organization. The goal of these officers, regardless of the police station or department, is promotion. When they investigate cases that gain significant media exposure and become the public's focus, and if the investigation yields positive results, meaning if they uncover and prosecute the crimes of suspects, the practical supervisor, the police chief, received high scores in performance evaluations. The investigators handling the case also benefit in terms of recognition. Given the vast size of the police organization, individual officers often don't receive much attention, and promotion typically occurs over a long period of time. More importantly, the police serve as a law enforcement organization responsible for maintaining public safety and preventing crime. So, when the police successfully reveal criminal suspicions or arrest numerous criminals in high-profile cases, they naturally receive attention and commendation. Investigating celebrities, sports stars, business people, or politicians, figures widely known to the public, further attracts media attention, leading to recognition and easier promotion within the police organization. In essence, showcasing the police efforts to investigate and combat crime is not a problem. However, the situation changes when the police, lacking decisive evidence to prove a crime, use media play to pressure a suspect. By emphasizing the progress of an investigation without substantial evidence, as in the case of Lee Sun-gyun, there is a risk that the individual undergoing investigation may face societal condemnation and ultimately psychological pressure that leads to extreme choices. Lee Sun-gyun received negative results in both the preliminary test and the precise examinations, which was hair samples from the head and armpits, conducted by the National Forensic Service, indicating no detection of drugs. To prosecute a suspect in a drug case, crucial information such as the suspect using drugs, the time and place of drug use must be identified. In the absence of a confession from the suspect, the most effective means to establish these details is through a drug test. However, in Lee Sun-gyun's case, all drug tests yielded negative results, leaving the question of whether he actually used drugs, when, and where unanswered. Consequently, the police had to rely on the statements of witnesses who claimed to have been Lee Sun-gyun using drugs, or communication records such as calls or messages involving Lee Sun-gyun. The problem arises when one considers that the witness who claimed Lee Sun-gyun used drugs was the same person who allegedly extorted $300,000 from him and happened to be a hostage with a history of drug use. In the end, the police proceeded with the investigation essentially based on the testimony of a former hostage with a history of drug use as the sole evidence. And in a situation where evidence was lacking, they attempted to elicit public response by leaking information details to the media, leading to criticism. Lee Sun-gyun attended the police station for the third time on the 23rd and underwent an intensive overnight interrogation lasting a whopping 19 hours. Ultimately, the 19-hour overnight interrogation may not be classified as coercive. Previously, overnight interrogations were common, but a legal revision in 2019 generally prohibited nighttime interrogations after 9 p.m. However, nighttime interrogations are still possible if the suspect consents, and Lee Sun-gyun agreed to the overnight interrogation. However, the issue lies in the fact that while the police outwardly claim to adhere to human rights investigation rules, they practically engaged in media play by leaking investigation details in real time and conducted all three interrogations, including public summonings, using unconventional methods. While it is common for a public summons to occur during the initial interrogation, when the suspect is a public figure, publicly summoning the individual for every interrogation is rare. Therefore, Lee Sun-gyun had requested private interrogation before the third session, but the police, violating investigation disclosure rules, refused this request. In the end, while it may not have been overtly coercive, it's evident that the police subjected Lee Sun-gyun to a mentally stressful situation. The police investigation dealt a severe blow to Lee Sun-gyun's social honor and reputation to an extent where recovery seemed impossible. On a practical level, the pressure arising from the fines related to the drug case, for example, civil issues, would have been significant. Lee Sun-gyun, whose career was flourishing, was actively engaged in various projects, including preparing for the release of 2 movies upcoming drama shoots, and participating as a model in numerous advertisements. However, due to the involvement in the drug case, all movie and drama releases were indefinitely postponed, and most advertising contracts were terminated. The financial losses resulting from the personal escapade of a celebrity are typically the responsibility of the celebrity in terms of paying fines. Recently, actor Yoo In, convicted of drug use, faced fines of around 10 billion Korean won, approximately $8 million. Lee Sun-gyun's estimated fine amount for compensation would have been substantial too. When a party to a lawsuit dies and the heirs do not inherit the lawsuit, the case is effectively concluded. Lee Sun-gyun's death brings an end to the issue of fines amounting to millions of dollars, as his surviving family members are not obliged to take responsibility. Lee Sun-kyun likely considered this when making his extreme decision. South Korea treats drug use regardless of the substance as illegal and a very serious crime. If Lee Sun-kyun had indeed used drugs, he should have faced appropriate punishment. Especially because he was a public figure, stricter standards might be justifiable due to the potential significant negative impact on society. However, Lee Sun-kyun's death is regrettable considering the abnormality of the police investigation process, which show the lack of respect for the principles of presumption of innocence, the suspect's right, and the right to defense. This is your attorney, Jiwon Lee. Thanks for watching.